Hello, friends.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
You have the same name as my niece who lives in Florida. So when I saw it, I was like, "What's it?" And I'm so happy.
That's cool.
Spelled the same way and everything. I said, okay,
Oh,
so the first
wow.
time I met her, because she married my nephew, I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, are you an H Sarah or a no H Sarah? Because my other niece is a no H Sarah. So
Yeah,
there's this. And you were definitely an H
that's
Sarah.
hilarious. When I was pregnant with my now 19-year-old, there was another Sarah Green at the same doctor's office because they mixed up our
Oh.
charts one time and they're like, you
Oh.
gained a lot of weight. And I'm thinking, no, it didn't. And I looked and I'm like, you only have a few little entries there. Like, I'm almost done. My chart's this long, not this long.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find. I oh, okay, that might help. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put in the first. Okay, so I know y'all are my little early birds, so I'm going to give you the early bird special. So a lot of what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to say this over and over again. Maybe that's the special, you get to hear it repeatedly. But a lot of what we're going to be doing, you're going to be accessing the chat a lot. What I'm going to be showing you how to do is how to navigate with remote learning with your students, but of course, you know, teaching econ standards with it. But it's a lot of fun. We did this morning. We had a blast. So but if there's any glitches or anything, you know, it happens. So I'm putting in a link into the chat. I'm gonna say what to do with this link. Okay, use the link above to access. A lot of what we're going to be working with are Google Slides and I think one Google Doc, but mostly Google Slides because they're very interactive. Um, they're just fabulous to use for remote learning. Hello, Angela Ross. It's so good to see you. I was just bragging on Henry County. You should have heard, your ears should have been burning. Okay, one more time for those of you who are coming in. A lot of what we're going to be doing today is going to involve accessing the group chat. So there'll be lots of instructions. A lot of the things that we do interactively, which pretty much everything we do is going to be very interactive, because that's the whole reason you're here. You're going to access it through the chat box. All right, there's 14 of us here so far, and we still have a couple of minutes before we actually get officially started. Is anybody having any difficulty accessing the Google slide?
I am. When I click that link, it just takes me to a registration screen for
Oh.
the Zoom meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that must be the wrong link then. Okay, so what I'll do, let's do directly from here. Okay, let me try this one. Oh, that is. It is a Zoom meeting. Yeah, we don't want you to register. Just, I don't know what that is registering for, but I don't want you registering for that one.
The new link works.
Okay, good, good, good. And try to focus on the first two slides if you're from Georgia. The third slide is pretty much mostly for people who are outside our state, because we did have a few, we had one visitor from Pennsylvania, well, he's in New Jersey right now, that was joining us this morning. We have another person that's supposed to be joining us from around that area as well too. I'm gonna let y'all peek at my screen. Let's see, let me do share screen, new share. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all sneak a peek here. Can y'all see my screen now? Oh, not yet, not yet. You shouldn't, just a second. All right, so you should be able to see it now, I think. You see, it's the Google slide. Okay, so if you notice, the way I did this is you can see how many people are actually accessing it up here. So if you're doing this live with your students, you can see how many of them are actually working on it right then. So this is a good way for you to judge who's actually participating at that moment. And you can see over here who's where. You can see on the little slide sort who's where. And then you can also see, let's see if I can click up here. It's not being very clear. It's kind of slowing down. Okay, so a lot of people here in the Atlanta area. I think we might, oh, we have somebody from Savannah, a couple of people from Savannah. See if we have nobody from outside the great state of Georgia just yet. Okay, so if you're joining us, there's a link to a Google Doc. I'm going to put it in here one more time because I think it got kind of buried in all of this. And this is going to give you access to the Google Doc that we're looking at. And we're going to do that for just a minute. This is our meet and greet, just getting to know where everybody is from. Okay, oh, good, good, good. I think we've got most everybody now. So, okay. So that's just one activity you can do with your kids. Let me tell you another thing you could do using this idea of copying and pasting. If you were to do like an attitude survey or how comfortable, or one of the kind of assessment where how comfortable do they feel with a particular skill, learning a particular skill, you could put a line on the page and on the Google Doc. And I will just tell you from my experience, Google Slides are the easiest to manipulate as far as using it for interactive learning purposes. So I would recommend doing Google Slides more so than Google Docs. But I would have them ask how comfortable they feel with multiplying, if you're talking about multiplying 2 digits by 2 digits. You could put on one side, you could say, I can't do it at all the way to I'm a rock star, I can teach people. And then have them put where they are on the line and where they could be kind of anonymous. The only person that would actually know more about it is you. And but you would actually see it, and you could get a gauge for where everybody is. Okay, I'm going to switch over my share to my other desktop so that you can see the actual. Now I'm using Prezi as my presentation software, presentation application. How many of you, have any of you ever used Prezi in your classroom? I know when I was in the classroom, by the way, hey, I'm Angie Battle. It's nice to meet you guys. I know most of you already have been with me before, so because I recognize many of your names. But when I taught in the classroom for 26 years, I did a lot of stuff with a lot of things using technology. And when I say technology, computers and digital technology. And one of the things I always had them do when it came presentation time, I always gave them the option of doing PowerPoint if they wanted to do it, because everybody has access to PowerPoint, or doing Prezi because they also had access to Prezi too, especially through my account. So it just depended on how they wanted to do things. Okay, can everybody see my teaching through the econ standards screen? We're good? All right, good. All right, so let's see how this is going to work. All right, so we're going to go, we've already done the where are you from activity. This is the link to it, but obviously you're not going to click on that. Moving ahead, we're GCEE, we're the Georgia Council on Economic Education, and our mission, in case you didn't know, is to help you guys teach your econ standards to your kids. That's pretty much everything we do is filtered through that. And the whole reason why we're doing this remote learning session is because that's what you need help with. That's what you're having to do. So we're here to help you do that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a few standards. We're going to talk about one standard in each of 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, and then a strategy to teach each one of those. We're not going to talk about all of the standards for each of the grade levels. We're just picking one, and actually one element out of each one of those standards. And then we're going to give you a strategy to teach that standard. And then I'm going to share, if we have time, hopefully we have time, a wonderful online resource that is available to you to use in your classroom. Okay, moving on, I think. There we go. All right, so as you all know, because, see, I'm just going to say, since I started this job, I've been teaching everybody from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I have found that we elementary people, we understand this very, very well, that teaching and learning are way more fun when they're interactive. We get that. So I know I'm preaching to the choir when I tell you that. But as we're going to do this, we're going to be doing lots of things here. And like I was saying before, and now that we've kind of really jumped into it, most of what we're going to be doing is you're going to be accessing the chat box for your links to go to places for us to do our interactive learning, except a couple of places. And one of them is we're going to go to do a quizzes. So I need you to go to joinmyquiz.com. Joinmyquiz.com. And this is the advantage of quizzes over Kahoot, and we are going to do a Kahoot later. So just be ready with your cell phone if you're not using that to access this webinar. Is they don't need to have two screens. They can just use one screen. Whereas with Kahoot, and you're going to see this later, you have to have one screen to see the question and your screen and a separate screen to respond to. But in this, you get to go at your own pace. So I am going to click host game. What I'm going to do at the very end of this session, just to let you know, I'm going to give you, I'm going to leave the last, after the 1 hour is up, I'm going to stick around. So if you have any questions, you don't have to feel like you have to rush out. If there's anything I can help you with, then I'll be delighted to do that, including like little nitpicky things that maybe I skipped over and went too fast through. So, okay, so join my quiz. Everybody should just about be there. Okay, I'm going to put up your quiz code, and I'm going to put that. It's generating right now. It's just taking a little time because there's so much going on right now. One moment, please. All right, so your code, let's see if I can get this in here. I'm going to put the code for the quizzes in the chat box. Let's see if that works. There we go. 874 095. 874 095. And there you are. Hey, Bruce from Savannah.
Hello.
Now, the way I have this set up is I've got two screens. You don't have to do it with two screens. You don't have to have two monitors working. I did this morning's workshop, virtual workshop with just my laptop. And then I had the bright idea to try two different monitors. So you can do it either way. I just have to get myself squared away. So, but I'm going to show, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and get it started in just a second. Hello, Todd and Catherine and Laurie and Smith. Ready? Go. What? I think I'm clicking. I'm clicking. It's frozen. Hang on. Oh, there we go. It's just saying, honey, you're expecting too much of us right now. It's going to pop up in just a second. The questions will pop up and you get to pace yourself through it. You don't have to wait for me to push you on. Ooh. There we go. And does everybody see it on their screen yet? Okay, there we go. Ooh, look at all that. Look at y'all getting it. Awesome. Y'all are beating this morning's group by far. Okay, guys. Pick up oh, there you go. You'll get a special whoop whoop if y'all get 85 or above as a group. Okay, I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds, then I'm going to go ahead and close it. Woo, look at this over 85. Just letting y'all know, Kelly is killing it. Kelly is killing it. And Todd's about to get it. Okay, 10 more seconds. All right. Boom. Ending the game now. End. It's going to end eventually. I think that's about it. It's my computer's. Ooh, there we go. Oh, I think it jumped ahead. All right, so that's my computer. Okay, so y'all ended up with 85%. Woo, you guys, that's a good, oh my gosh, 11 points better aggregate as a whole over this morning's group. Woo. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close that out because that might be sucking the life out of my computer because everything's working so much slower right now. Okay, so yay, I'm so excited. So now we're going to look at, I'm trying to get back over here. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen again. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the standard, 3 of the standards, and to teach exactly, so we can be sure that we're teaching exactly what we should be teaching. So this is a 3rd grade standard, and it is give examples of interdependence and trade and explain the benefits of voluntary exchange. The specific element is explain that some goods are made locally, some elsewhere in the country, and some in other countries. So what we're going to do in just a second, you're going to do a pantry and closet hunt. And this is something you could do with your kids easily. So I did one already where I went into my pantry and I found, well, actually this is in the little cabinet beside my stove. This is salt, sea salt, and it is a product of, nobody shout out at once. You can, I'm just being funny. The product is from, you're right, Spain. So Spain, is that local, inside the country, or outside the country? We get out our map, and there's no Spain inside the country, so it is outside the country, okay? All right, so here's the next one. Idaho potatoes, local, inside the country. These potatoes aren't, because how do we know these potatoes aren't local? Because they say Idaho on them. So Idaho potatoes are not local, but they are inside our country. So they come from our country. And then here are some of my son's gym shorts. Where were these made? Can you tell? You are right, Egypt. And Egypt is local, inside our country, or outside of our country? You were correct, outside of our country. All right, and finally, Sri Lanka. This is my husband's shirt. It was made in Sri Lanka. Local? No. Inside our country, there is no Sri Lanka. Georgia, no, that's not, no. And Sri Lanka is actually outside of our country. It's an island right off the coast of India. All right, so here's what you're going to do. I'm giving you 2 minutes to go and get an item from your pantry or your closet make sure there's a label inside that indicates where it is made, not distributed from. So your 2 minutes starts once it cranks up. Once you can see the two minutes, you can go ahead and band it. Okay, 30 more seconds. Maybe YouTube might be giving you all a little bit more. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to do something on the fly. I'm using 2 monitors, and I think it's given my poor little Mac Air a run for its money. So it's slowing everything down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the other monitor. It should not undo our connection. So if you see the screen that you're looking at go away, it's okay. It'll pop back up in just a moment. Maybe that worked. All right, does everybody have their stuff? Are we good? Okay. Oh, I don't need that up. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share right there because I think it just took me out. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen again. I'm trying to figure out. Okay. All right. So okay. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next activity. So what I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to give you the link for where you're going to go as soon as I can find it. Okay, so you're going to, okay, so what I need you to do is I'm going to ask you 3 questions about that item. First of all, where is it from? Well, the name of the item, where's it from, and how did it get here? And when you think about how it got here, we're going to kind of take a little dive into a little dip into another standard about the productive resources. Remember, just to remind you about the 4 productive resources, they are human resources, natural resources, capital resources, which are things that we make things with, goods and services with, and then finally entrepreneurship. So I want you to think about, how did that item that you have get from where it came from to you in terms of those 4 resources? Oh, hello. I'm not sure what that means. Is anybody else hearing the whip whip? Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, the time was up. That's what it was. Let's see. Okay, so getting back out of there. Okay. All right. Loading. It's just taking its time, y'all. I'm guessing 3 o'clock is kind of a packed up time for. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and let's just do this. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Move as much stuff out of the way as I can. Okay. Okay, so I don't want to do the remote. As I told you before, I'm doing the Prezi as my app, but you don't have to. Okay, so we're going to go on. Okay, so when you get to this part, this is going to be an activity that I want you to bring. This is the closet and pantry hunt. And I'm going to put this document link in your chat box for you to use. Thank y'all for your patience. Okay, let me find the chat box again. The chat box is getting away from me. There we go. All right, chat. Okay, all right, so go ahead and there's the doc. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to put you into breakout rooms. And some people had some questions about how we did breakout rooms. Are a lot of fun. They're like working at a table, doing cooperative learning at your table together. So what we're gonna do is don't do anything with the document just yet. In fact, you might have to clean out some of what somebody else did. So bye, Todd. See you later. Okay, so what I need you to do is, well, actually, you can go in there and you can kind of see what everybody else is. And I want you to have, but I want you to have a conversation. Now, the page you're going to go to is going to be the page of the document that matches your room number. So what I'm going to do is put you in a breakout room. Zoom does it automatically whenever I ask, hey, put these people in breakout rooms. It does it for me. I don't have to. Now you can assign breakout rooms for your students, but I do it just, let Zoom figure that out. So there's going to be about 4 or 5 people in each room because there's 6 rooms. And when you get there, I want you to talk about your item in relationship to what you see on the screen on the Google slide. Okay. And you should get an invitation to join a room. Okay, did anybody get their breakout room invitation? Oh, I'm opening. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. If you have not gotten into a room, there we go.
Angie, you're muted.
We can't hear.
It's fun watching her though.
I gotta unmute myself. There we go.
There you are. We were all wondering how long you
Lord
would
have
go.
mercy. Don't mute that girl. Don't mute Battle. Don't you mute Battle. Anyway, so as you can see, each one of these slides acts like, is almost like a separate chart paper. And then you can, instead of having to put them up all around the room, you can just have a discussion about them as you go. And of course, came on a truck. Look at this, bought at a store. I had one person say this morning, somebody gave it to me. And that is true. I'm not sure what the productive resource is, but maybe I, as the instructor, should have been a little bit more, made that a little bit clearer. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next activity. Let's see. And so we've already done that, blah, 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 blah. Oregon Trail. But what does Oregon Trail have to do with? I'm glad you asked. So our 4th grade standard is the basic economic concepts, particularly of opportunity cost. Now, just to let you guys know, the official definition of opportunity cost is the next best alternative besides what you chose. So, and it's the one next best alternative, not everything you didn't choose, but the one next best alternative. And particularly when we're looking at in the historical context, westward expansion, decisions to settle the West. And of course, there is no better game out there. There's no better activity besides Oregon Trail. There's just not. I defy anybody to tell me that there is, because there's not. This pixelated perfection. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to make available to you guys. We're not going to actually play this together. I know there's a big wah on that. But when I was in the classroom, I did a lot with Blend Space, which is it's a way to curate digital resources for your kids and make sure that whenever they're doing research, that they're kind of staying within parameters, because kids don't, especially 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, they really don't know how to, we have not invested enough time into them to teach them how to find valid sources. And so this is a way to teach them what valid sources look like. But so I provide it for them, and then then we go from there. But you're going to have this page to yourself in just a second. And if you look at it, it's got, this is everything I gave my students for the Oregon Trail. And then of course, their favorite thing on this whole page, wait for it, was this. Wait for it, there we go. And as you can see on the right-hand side, my kids left me messages how they felt about this particular activity. So yes, it popped up, the actual Oregon Trail from the early 90s. And they can, all they have to do is click it, it downloads it, just like you can see that little floppy disk just a spinning. And then it's going to, one moment, please. One moment, please. Here it comes. Okay, so even starting off, you have to make a choice. And this is what I did in my own classroom is I would tell, I showed this on the big screen to the kids. I said, okay, so we're going to go through the first few minutes of this together, and then they were able to do this in the computer lab, or because we didn't have enough devices, because that's just the way it is. But it did help that the computer lab was right across the hall from me, so we kind of used it whenever it wasn't being used. But anyway, so as you can see, you have 6 different choices. So if we're going to choose 1 through 6, what I would always choose, and here's me modeling, here's my modeling this, I would always say, I'm not fooling with any of that stuff. Let's get on the trail. Let's travel the trail. That would be my choice. So I would put in 1. Now, I would pause right there and I would say, okay, if traveling the trail is my choice, what is my opportunity cost? So the opportunity cost would be my second the next best alternative, whatever would come next. I would actually say see the Oregon top 10 would be my second choice. So that's the opportunity I gave up. That's the next best alternative. So the opportunity cost is number 3, see the Oregon top 10. It is not 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It is just number 3, the next best. And then of course we get in there. And then right here, I say there are lots of different people. You can be a banker, a carpenter, a farmer, or do you want to find out about these? And then I'd invite one of my students to say, okay, well, what do you want to be? And of course, they always want to be the banker because they know they're going to get a lot of money. So they choose banker. I said, okay, so being a banker, do you know why that you have choices? Because if you found out the difference, you would find out that the banker gets a lot of money up front, but they get less money at the end, and so forth and so, and as you go. So if you're a farmer, you don't get very much money, but you get much more at the end because it was a little bit more challenging. So if you chose to be a banker, what was your next best alternative? And somebody would say it's a farmer. Well, that's your opportunity cost. So anyway, so this is a phenomenal game for your students, and you will have kids begging to play this. I had kids begging, Miss Battle, can we please play Oregon Trail? Okay, if you must. And there's math involved. There's all kinds of goodness in there. Okay, so jumping on. So that's your Oregon Trail. Okay, so now let's go to 5th grade. So our 5th grade standard is how consumers and producers interact in the U.S. economy. Describe how competition markets and price influence consumer behavior. Now, just to show you this, I used an actual, let me move this out of the way. Okay, I used to, I did not invent this particular game. By the way, the game we did with looking at the tag and the labels and everything, that came from Mike Raymer, my boss. But this is a game. I mean, this is a lesson plan that came from Econ Ed Link. This is a super duper resource. It's called Competition Pizza. Now, and Marsha Masters she is the master. She's phenomenal. She's one of our friends in Arkansas, but she wrote this lesson. It is great. I modified it a bit for what we're doing here for this remote, because some of this stuff you have to use in like you make handouts and stuff like that. So we did that all, but digitally. So the first thing I want us to do is we're going to do a Kahoot. And yes, I think we do have time. So we're going to do a Kahoot, but now something I learned the hard way this morning was that I'm going to have the screen and you're going to be sharing the screen. But if you can't, you either have to do one of two things. You either have to have your phone separate from your screen so that you can see the screen, my screen, and participate, answer the questions, or you could do a split screen. You can do it either way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click play on this, and I click teach, and it's going to pop up. Your Kahoot is now loading. So, and we're going to do, well, it's getting there. We're going to do the classic. Now, in the classroom, in a physical, I used to always do the team mode, but in this situation, this is good. All right, there we go. Oh, and if you'll notice, I put this on where you can't make your own name, because, and that kind of now, that's something, that's just to show you that that is an option you have where kids can come up with funky names, sometimes inappropriate names. Okay, we'll wait to get about at least 20 people in there. So make sure you have a split screen or you have a separate device to use to do this with, so that you can see my screen as well. start. Oh, and there is a limit on here to doing, okay. Are you ready? This is my way of, so this takes place when there are many buyers and sellers of similar products. Red is barter, blue is competition, yellow is entrepreneurship, and green is market. Okay. Nice work, guys. Yes, that is the correct answer. Okay, next one. Clever Cat is in the lead. Competition among sellers usually lowers costs and prices, discourages producers to produce what consumers want, raises costs and prices, or has no, it should be no effect. Woo! All right, Clever Cat. Oh, Groovy Falcon, there you go. A competitor for Doug's Donuts would be Betty's Bakery, Clyde's Car Wash. All right, next question. I'm reading some of these comments. They're cracking me up a little bit. Okay, ooh, Clever Sloth. No one saw them coming. Which of these might help businesses compete for customers? All of the above, that is correct. Okay, let's look at our scoreboard. Clever Sloth. Last question, which of these would not be a competitor for the Tom's Ice Cream Shop? That is correct. Well, in some places, there was a place in Perry, Georgia, that was called Kim's Barbecue and Fashions. So I guess they were trying to be competitive on many levels. That's a true story. Let's see. Let's see. Soaring Hen, third place. Ruby Falcon, second place. And in first place, you know it. You were expecting it. Clever Sloth. Is that you, Tony DeSario?
That's me. That's right. Clever Sloth right here.
No one saw you coming. Good job, guys. Good job. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close out of that. By the way, all of these links to everything that's on here, you're going to have, I have it all. Let's see. Ooh, it's in here somewhere. I have a whole list of things I'm going to send you when we're done with everything, including hopefully the recording of this whole webinar. So if you want to go back and just get, you know, more of the hits, baby, more of the hits. Okay, so let's see. So we're done with the Kahoot. Now going back to, okay, thank you for your patience. Okay, all right. So that's our activity. Oh, goodness. Oh, I think we're doing all right. Okay, so moving on, competition pizza. In addition, so this is how you would use the Kahoot to actually kind of prime their DOK1 knowledge, the things that they already know. But then as far as an actual activity that they can do as in groups, you would do the welcome to small town. So I'm going to click on this link and I'm going to send you here via the chat room. So you're going to go here and remember, you're going to do the same thing you did before. You're going to use your breakout room and I'm going to put you in breakout rooms, and then you're going to go to this thing, and you're going to go to that side, and you and your peeps are going to do what it tells you to do on the slide. So I'm going ahead and I'm opening all the breakout rooms. There they are. So you can head that way. And Deborah, I'm going to put you in breakout room 3. Okay. Anybody not know where to go? Okay, so when you get there, okay. See if anybody else. Fabulous. Poor Tony, did nobody accept you in their room?
No, as I was going over to the room, it exited out. Like,
What?
yes, it went back to join a meeting, the screen that says join a meeting. So I don't know what happened.
Well, that's okay. One of the great things about this using Zoom is all the things that go wrong. It's okay. It's not like, some kid just dodged out of your room and just, I gotta,
You got to go catch them.
There's no runners in here. It's like,
Right.
oh, we'll see how far you get.
You're like, bye. I'm sorry you had to leave. That's right.
Deuces.
Oh, that's
But
hilarious.
it is fun, but you can actually, when you're on this side, you can actually pop into a room and check
Yes.
on it. Not to check to make sure, not to be like the police, but just to,
Well, it's funny because my son's home from college,
Mhm.
and he has to take online courses, and they go to chat rooms. I mean, they go to rooms all the time, breakout rooms all the time, and then they have conversations. And I don't think he realized that the professor can come in without them hearing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was like, dude,
Yes.
he was at the table across the way, and I'm like, your professor can come in there, right?
I'm just saying.
He's like, no,
All
we were talking about
clandestine.
the other person. I'm like, no. I'm like, just letting you know, you might not realize. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so I'm going to give everybody one more minute, and then they'll come on back. But this has been a good use of time.
Yeah, I really liked, it sounds so stupid, but the slides.
Oh, aren't they amazing?
Well, and I'm sitting here thinking about all the work that we try to do collaboratively in the classroom,
Mhm.
and how sometimes it's difficult to stay on task for kids once they get moved and put
Yeah.
into groups. But I'm sitting here imagining if they're in the same class and working on Google Slides from their seat without moving.
Yes.
Sometimes, now I want them to move,
Yes.
don't misunderstand,
Yes.
but sometimes I'm sitting here thinking, well, they're not going to be engaged with the people on the left and right of them, but it'll be a person across the room, and they'll have
Yes.
to do their work in the slides. So, and it's just so simple, so stupid and easy.
Yeah, and you could see evidence of where they, on my end, I can see evidence of where they've been. Now, of course, as everybody's coming back in, something else that I always do, or I try to always do, is make a copy. Like, you know, like right now, anybody that's got, they can make their own copy to put in their own Google Drive. But I can make a copy. I keep a copy, a clean copy, so that nobody messes it up. So that, because that little map activity we did at the beginning, somebody in my first session today, yeah, let's just say it went yeah. But
Accidentally
it's
dragged
okay.
it, or, yeah.
Yes, yes. Somebody, you know, had a little difficulty with the copying and pasting. But there you have it. That happens. So, okay, so that was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again so that you can see what I've got going on. Let's see. Okay. So, as you can see, you can go through when you're doing this with your students, you can see what they wrote on the bottom in the, now I did where you can write your response in the section for the speaker notes, but you can leave enough room on any slide to actually put it in the slide itself. The reason I use slides, and this is very important to know, the reason I use slides is because they are a lot, and I think I said this before, they're a lot more easy to manipulate than Google Docs or actually anything else out there that I can think of as far as interactivity goes. Okay, so a good follow-up activity to give them, okay, so the first thing we did was the Kahoot, just to kind of activate their understanding about the terms when we're talking about competition. And then we did this activity collaboratively. And then the next one that I would give the kids, and I'm going to see if I can't, because it's hiding from me. Okay, so it is, yeah, it's definitely hiding from me. Okay, so let me go to my starred. It is the, let's see, oh, the competition. Okay, now this one I did do with a Google Doc, and I had a reason, because you'll see the reason when it pops up. Okay, because they don't have to manipulate. It's like a worksheet, but it's a digital worksheet, but it's interactive in the sense of they've got to do, it's not just, they're just jotting down. There's a lot of thinking going on. Once again, this all came from Econ Ed Link, which is a council on the National Council on Economic Education. And they produced this. So you have tons of lesson plans there that are available for 3 through 5. So in this one, they would fill this out. The first 2 are done for them. The name of the business, the name of the competitor, the type of business, and ways that they compete with each other. And of course, they have to come up with 4 other businesses in their community. And what the fabulous thing about this is it's relevant to them. And it's something that actually gets something about something that's important to, like, right now. So to them, it's relevant. And I would even say it's quite a bit rigorous, especially when you get to the bottom, when it says, okay, so if you were to have to choose between the 2 competitors, who would you choose, and why would you choose that particular competitor? And they have to explain, they have to give evidence to support their reason. So there's lots of rigor here, there's lots of relevance. So, I mean, this is a really top-notch activity for them to do. It's not just a worksheet. Cool, cool. Okay, so moving right along. So going from our competition pizza, we're going to go to real quick to, okay. So it's 4 o'clock. I'm going to show you super quick. Well, actually, I might not show it to you. I'll show you this. There is a wonderful resource called SmartPath. And what it is, you go to smartpath.online. We're not gonna do all that just yet. It is something that you have to have an account for, but it doesn't cost you any money to do this, just like our GCEE workshops. It doesn't cost you anything as far as money. And the same thing with this, because it's paid for by Wells Fargo, is the one that funds the University of Cincinnati, who puts this out. But good news is, if you need more information, the University of Cincinnati Economics Center is putting on their own webinar to show you how to use this for your for teachers and parents to use SmartPath for that. I'm telling you, this is well worth your time. I wish I would have had more. Wish I had more time to show it to you myself, but if you wanted to look at it, you can. You can actually go here. I don't know what all this means. I don't think they're charging you anything. I don't know what all that business is, but you join this way, okay? It's just a Zoom thing. But if you want to hang out a little bit after I dismiss everybody, then you're more than welcome, and I can show you a little bit of it, just so you could be privy to what's out there. If you don't want to invest your time into a whole another webinar. Okay, so trying to move this right along. Okay, so we learned a lot today, but wait, there's more. Next week, we're doing another workshop. We're going to do a 10 o'clock and a 3 o'clock, just like we did today, but it's going to feature the fine folk of Booth Museum in Cartersville, Georgia. And it's not going to be just, looking at cutesy stuff, oh, look, that's a great little painting or whatever. No, we're going to actually do some real deal econ lessons using the artifacts, using the things that they have available to them, things that you're going to have available to you digitally, because you'll be able to access a lot of their paintings that they're going to use to show you how to teach trade, the economic concept of trade. So I'm really excited about it. We did a big planning meeting for it a few days ago. Ooh, you're in for a treat to go there, and you access it. You're going to register for it the same way you did this one. You go there, and where you saw the ones for this one, you just go a little bit lower and you'll see ones for that. Okay, this is very important. I'm going to put this link in the box in just a second, but this is our survey. If you want to zap that with your phone, and this is a survey that is very helpful to us as far as it helps us. We share this with our funders, the information. Okay, so I'm going to put that link in there for you guys. Let's see. So this is the website. It'll be a little bit longer than that one. You want to just copy and paste that. There we go. So if you will do this, if you'll fill this out, that would be extremely helpful for us. It also is going to give me the names of everybody that participated today, so that I can make sure that you get all of the resources I just shared with you. I'm going to also share with you I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to get. I'll show you what you're going to get, my friends. Okay, so I'm going to send you the link to this document right here. And on this document, you're going to see a link for everything, where you're from, everything. You just click on those little bad boys and there you go. Okay, so, and I also put in some info. Oh, I'm going to put in just a few minutes, whenever this finishes recording, they're going to send me a link of the recorded version of it. So I'll make sure to include that. So if you wanted to go back and watch it again, just because it was so scintillating the first time, you can do that. Or if you wanted to share it with someone else, that'd be great too. But I'm also putting in information about that webinar for SmartPath at the end, if you want to participate in that. If you want to, great. If you don't, if you want to hang out for a couple of minutes and let me show you that, I don't mind that at all. And again, and by the way, that's where this, if you wanted to share with your high school folks and your middle school folks, friends, there's other workshops that GCEE does besides the ones that we do for elementary. You're more than welcome to just Share the love. Share the love. Friends, share the love. And I think that just about does it. I am so appreciative of your being here. And if you want to hang out for a couple of minutes for me to show you the Smart Path, I'll be glad to do that. No, you guys rock. You do. You do. Thank you. Y'all are the best. Y'all could have been taking your afternoon nap right now, but no, you didn't. You stayed with us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the Smart Path. Yes, I did. But I understood that. I knew what it was from. Okay. Bye, Chad. Thank you for coming. And hey, guys. How did I do the breakout rooms? That's a great question. Okay, so whenever you're the host of the of the meeting, and this is a meeting, not a webinar. I know we call it a webinar, but really when you're dealing with Zoom, this is technically called a meeting. There is a little thing called on the little bar where it has participants and so forth and so on. It's whatever that bar is called. I'm going to call it the function bar. But there's a little spot at the very end called More. And then when you go about toward the top half of it, there's a whole section called Breakout Rooms. And you click that. And then you can either do one of two things whenever you click that. You pick the number of rooms you want. I picked 6. And the magic reason I picked that was because that's how many slides I had for both of those activities. So that's how I came up with that wonderful number. So depending on how many rooms you want, you pick that number of rooms. And I let Zoom automatically divvy you up and separate you into the rooms. So it was random, but you can also assign rooms. And so when people would come, and I had this happen a few times today, when people would come into the room, come into the main room, and they didn't get a breakout room because they came in later after I had assigned breakout rooms to begin with, I could assign it to them. Like I just picked room number 3 or whatever. And you can also see how many people are in each room. And this is it's not the basic account. It's whatever account you have available you can do this with whatever account is available through your school. Now I pay a little bit more because I'm not through a school because we're GCEE, so we're not a public school. So we pay $15 a month, but my thinking is $15 a month, I pay at least 20 times more in gas on normal months. So $15 a month is not a big deal to me. So for what it gives me. So, but I think for most of you teachers, I think y'all have access to. If not, then you can contact them and find out how you can get access to it through your educational institute. That sounds bad, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me share with you real quick about Smart Path. So Smart Path is up here. Okay, so okay, back up. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, I know you will. Okay, so okay, there we go. So on Smart Path, when it pops up, when you go to smartpath.online, make sure you put .online, it's going to change it to this, and then you're going to see Launch Portal. You're going to click Launch Portal, and if you don't have your own account already, go ahead and create an account. It's going to ask you a lot of questions, but I promise you, they don't send you a bunch of garbage. I've not received any garbage from them. I think it's mainly to kind of keep track of who's being reached and who's getting served and how it's being used. So in that way, it's just data digging, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, but I already have my account, and because I'm registered through Georgia as a Georgiite or Georgian, it already has me. It puts me down for. Like it goes by default to level 1. So level 1, you can equate it to first grade level, but something to note. This is something very important to note. In addition to the economic standards for your grade level, there's also math standards that are math standards. So you need to make sure that you look at this, because the activities that they have and the pre-assessment is going to be using that math that fits with this. So this math might be a little, I don't know, it might be okay for first grade, or it might not be. So I'll let you be the judge of that. I know what fourth graders could do, because as far as math is concerned, but beyond that, I wasn't. And fifth graders, I know what fifth graders could do. But what you do is you go to, as you can see, you have an overview which tells you everything you need for the lesson. I don't know if this is in y'all's way, but okay. So it goes through like an overview of what you're doing. Don't worry about the Jumpstart standards. That's not relevant to you unless you really are jazzed about that. But there's your overview. You go to pre-assessment. It gives you ideas about the student pre-assessment. If you want to do the pre-assessment for yourself, go ahead and knock yourself out. And then you can see it's gonna have, this is where you can do it yourself. Now I want to show you this, starting the student pre-assessment. I've already done this. This is where you can check and see where the students have done the pre-assessment. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping way ahead of you guys. Okay, so this is the link that you would provide for your students to access this pre-assessment. And then you're going to track this is where you're going to track their progress. I was Margaret Summers. That was my little pseudonym, and I just clicked the first button. So this is what this is what you would get if you click the first response every single time, and I didn't even finish it. So so this tells you what their progress was, and then battle. So how do you know? Do they click on their name or whatever? No, they type in their own name. That's the beautiful thing about this, is you don't have to compile a list like you do with Google Classroom or with other things. They put their own first name and last name and tell them. I would always tell my kids, put your report card name in there. Put your report card name, whatever your first name is on your report card, your last name of your report card. That's what I want you to put. And then put that in there, and then you'll get a progress, and then you'll go through the lessons with them. And let's see, let me go back. Okay, so you'll go through the lessons with them, and they are very entertaining. They're little videos, and then you have a discussion together over the video. And then there's a review and an assessment. And for the homework, it's actually it's typically a worksheet that you would send home, but doesn't have to be that. You can make a digital. I mean, that's an option for whenever we get back into the physical buildings. But anyway, that's Smart Path, and there's so much more to it than that, but that's just the flyover. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit about what's available to you there. Cool. And I'm going to I'm going to stop the share screen, because I think that is it. Hang on just a second. There we go. All right, so stop share. Okay, guys, so if there's anything you need, I really, really, really want you to reach out to me and let me know. You've got my email address. It's jbattle. I mean, I've sent you emails and so forth, but if you want to ask me anything, or if you need, because I was a fourth grade teacher and a fifth grade teacher for forever, and most of that time was fourth grade. So I have lots of stuff available if you're a fourth grade teacher. So if there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. Yes. So thank you. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Yay! Oh, Todd, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yay. Oh, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, I'm unmuting you. There you go. Did I unmute you? Maybe I didn't.
Let's see here. Hold
There
on.
we go. I unmuted you. You're unmuted now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, Andrew participated in this morning's, and
Yes.
he said, "God, you're a brave woman." Yeah, it does take a lot of there's. I feel like the wizard in the Wizard of Oz when he's cranking all those wheels and
Yeah.
trying to get everything going. And yes, no, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Yeah, that's
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm looking forward to. I'm going to check in for some more for sure.
Yeah. Well, next week we have the one with Booth Music. That one is going to be. Oh, I cannot. I mean, I was excited about this one. I'm really super excited about that one because we're going to use Booth Museum is a museum of Western art in Cartersville, which is just a little bit northwest of here.
Okay.
Of Atlanta, and it is a gorgeous top-notch museum, beautiful art, and they're going to use some of the artwork to show examples of trade, and it's just going to be amazing what they're going to share and what we all share together, so it's going to be a treat.
Yeah, very cool. Is there a way I can get onto your email list so I make sure that I know when to register and that type of thing?
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I will tell you right now that registration is open.
Okay.
I will if you will did you get an email did you get an email from me?
I must have because obviously I registered for this one. So right.
Okay, so what I can do is I can you're so welcome, Deborah. So what I can do is if you want to email me, I guess I could put my email address in the chat box.
Okay, cool.
Email me and I will be glad to send you the link for that.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Oh, let's see. Everyone. There we go. Hey, Eva. So anyway, so please do, and I'll send you that link. And also, Chris Cannon, my cohort in crime here, he did an allocating scarce resources webinar today, but next week he's doing one with where it's a special guest speaker, Nadia Theodore. She's the Consul General from Canada, and she's here in Atlanta. I mean, like she's the connector. But anyway, she's amazing. She's just absolutely it's fascinating just talk about NAFTA and trade and all that good stuff. So that's going to be fascinating.
Thanks. Yeah, so much. Yeah,
You're
definitely.
so welcome. I'll send you the whole. I'll send you the whole catalog. How about that?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
See ya.
Bye.